Good morning, friends. Today I have brought a new video on all about number ranges used in the SAP and all the related questions for this topic, number ranges in SAP. This is a very typical, very basic, very important, but there are a lot of people who are not aware of what all technicalities are there with regard to number ranges. Though it is a very simple topic, but then in a given situation it can be very complex as well. So without delaying further, let's move. My only request is kindly like this video. If you have any question on this topic, please put up your comments, that will be definitely answered. Share this in your network and watch it till the end so that you get the complete information about the number ranges used in the SAP system. So what we are going to see as part of this video, what all things we are going to learn and understand. So first we will understand what is a number range in the SAP system. Then we will understand the usage and the importance of number ranges in the SAP system. Then we will also understand what all the different types of number ranges are available in the SAP system. We will see the number range table and transaction codes in the SAP system, how to transport number ranges in the SAP system, whether we can transport or whether we cannot transport. All these information also we will see, and I will be sharing some of the observations which I have seen during the interviews, that how people respond to a particular given kind of questions and how actually it is supposed to be answered. And then finally we will conclude it. One topic which I have missed up over here is what all the common errors can occur with regard to the number ranges, that also is actually covered in this video, though it is not mentioned here. So without further delay, let's move. So what is a number range? So number ranges in the SAP system are used to uniquely identify objects such as materials, equipments, or any kind of documents. Remember, the document need not to be related to only one module. It can be related to any module. It can be a purchase order, it can be a sales order, it can be a normal GL posting document, it can be a asset posting, it can be a various kind of things, payments, invoices, and so on. And remember, this is also related to your master data, your transaction data, and so many things are there. Everything is somewhere dependent on the number ranges. Anything which you will have to identify to present as a record of a business transaction or a master data will have to be given some kind of numbers, so that that can be uniquely identified either just by number range or with combination of certain things. It is used to identify master data, transaction records, and documents posted by third-party systems as well. These ranges ensure consistency and prevent overlaps. For example, in modules like plant maintenance, material management, or sales and distribution, number ranges are configured for objects like equipment, notifications, or sales order. Same goes for the finance, controlling, and rest other modules as well. Let's move further. So, why the number ranges are so important? So, this slide and the next slide will explain you the importance of number ranges. First and foremost is unique identification. Number ranges ensure that every object, materials, vendors, customers, documents has a distinct identifier, avoiding duplication and confusion. Second, system efficiency. They streamline the process by allowing SAP system to manage and retrieve data efficiently, especially when handling large volumes of transactions. Next, flexibility. Various types of number ranges cater to different business needs. For example, internal number ranges are ideal for automated sequential assignments. External ranges provide flexibility for user-defined identifiers which may follow meaningful pattern or codes. For example, customer IDs. We will learn little bit more in detail about internal and external number ranges in following slides as well. Let's first finish this importance of number ranges and then we will take those topics as well in detail. Moving next, audit and compliance. Proper configuration of number ranges supports traceability and compliance with organizational and regulatory requirements. Every record in the SAP system needs to be identified correctly, sometimes even as per the audits and compliance. So this number range also helps you to achieve that objective. Customization for business processes. Businesses can define different number ranges for the specific type of transactions or categories, such as local versus international vendors, ensuring tailored workflows. Then, in essence, number ranges are the backbone for organizing and processing structured data in SAP. They also play a key role in ensuring data integrity and operational accuracy. Here, one point what we have to remember is number ranges helps you to avoid any kind of duplicacy in the SAP system. If same numbers are used at multiple places, people will always have confusion and they cannot identify which data it is referring to, and within system also it will lead to lot of confusion. And that is the reason why number ranges has to be chosen very carefully and by giving enough time and thoughts while working in an implementation project, so that it does not just fulfill the requirement which is currently presented as part of the implementation project, but it should also take care of the future needs of the company or the client who are implementing SAP for their businesses. So basically it is a deep thought process should be given, and time also should be given to finalize a strategy which will be used while defining and designing the number ranges for various objects in the SAP system. Let's move further. Now, coming to types of number ranges. As mentioned in the previous slides, internal number ranges and external number ranges. We will see how these things are different and what all things it does. So, internal number ranges system automatically assigns numbers sequentially within the defined range. If somebody asks you what is an internal number range, this is what the answer you need to give it in the interview. The system automatically assigns number sequentially within the defined range. External number range. Usually These numbers are manually assigned by the business users, often following a predefined alphanumeric pattern. These ranges ensure consistency and prevent overlaps. For example, in modules like plant maintenance, material management, sales and distribution, even finance and controlling, number ranges are used for various objects like equipment, notifications, sales orders, delivery, billing, invoices, payments, and so on. Here, what is important is, and what is the most important point is, which type of number range, whether internal or external, need to be used for a given business object is purely driven by the business requirement of the client. So it is not just a matter of convenience, it is also a matter of compliance. So number ranges needs to be checked from all possible angles. What is the best applicable or suitable number ranges, which category, which variety, and then it should be used in the system. Moving next. So have a look, if somebody asks you what all the important differences are there between internal and external number ranges. So this is the details about the differences. In terms of assignment model, internal number ranges are assigned by the system automatically in sequence, whereas external number ranges, users manually assign numbers following a specific format. Then control. Internal number ranges are fully controlled by the system, whereas external number ranges requires user input, offering more flexibility. Then internal number ranges are ideal for standardized process with no need of customization. But external number ranges would be needed in business cases needing predefined or meaningful identifiers, example customer codes. So this can be needed and it is purely driven, as I said, by the requirement. The risk of error, the minimal risk or error will be there, minimal, that means the least risk will be there due to the system control in case of internal number ranges, whereas in external number ranges it will have high risk of duplicates if users are not careful. As it is external number ranges, so system has no control over what number ranges are being used. Then configuration effort. Internal number ranges are easy to configure as the system handles the assignments. But in case of external number ranges, more efforts are required as the format must be defined clearly for the user assignment. So these are the differences between internal and external number ranges. Moving next. Again, another type of number ranges, year dependent and year independent number ranges. These are used to manage documents numbering based on the specific requirement. Now let us understand what is year dependent and what is year independent, and then we will also see the exact differences between the two. So year dependent number ranges, these numbers ranges are reset at the beginning of each fiscal year. For example, document number for 2024 might start from 1000, while numbers for 2025 begin anew from 1000. That simply means every year the number ranges will start from the same place once again, same numbers once again, and that is why it is called as year dependent number ranges. Every year these number ranges need to be defined in the system. If a number range is year dependent, That means it will be an year-end activity every year, and that needs to be taken care by the supporting team. Now coming to the use case, it is ideal for organizations that need to segregate document numbers by fiscal year or for reporting or compliance purposes. That is a use case for the year dependent number ranges. Now from the configuration perspective, as I already said, it requires defining separate intervals for each fiscal year in the number range settings. Moving next, year independent number ranges. These number ranges continue sequentially across fiscal years without resetting. For example, if the last document number in 2024 is 1050, the next document number in 2025 will be 1051. That means it will continue picking up the next numbers available even switching the years from 2024 to 2025. The use case. It is suitable for organizations that prefer continuous numbering for easier tracking and auditing. They don't want to restart the number range every year again and again. So the organizations where these kind of requirements are there, in that case year independent number ranges are used. Coming from the configuration perspective, a single interval is defined applicable across all fiscal years, and that is how year independent number ranges are defined in the SAP system. Moving next. So what are the differences between the two, year dependent and year independent? So reset frequency, based on that parameter, year independent resets annually at the start of the fiscal year. That means it is a annual activity at the year end. Every year you will have to do it. Year independent means continuous across fiscal years. That means this activity you don't need to do in case of year independent number ranges. Once you do it, it will continue for many years. Reporting. Year dependent facilitates year-wise segregation of documents. So that is the flexibility you will get in case of year dependent number ranges. But year independent number ranges, it simplifies the tracking across multiple financial years. It simplifies because every year it will not reset and every year it will not restart from the same number range again. Now coming to year dependent, it requires more configuration effort because it will be always more complex as it is adding one extra activity every year which you will have to perform. And in case of year independent, it is easier to configure and maintain because once you maintain it, it remains for years to come. You don't need to make changes every now and then. Moving next, types of number ranges, numeric and alphanumeric number ranges. These two kind of number ranges are used across different modules to suit the various business requirements or business needs, and below it is explained how it is commonly used. Numeric number ranges. Let us first understand the numeric and then we will go for the alphanumeric number ranges. Remember, only alpha number ranges nobody uses in the SAP system. Only alpha I am talking about. So, numeric number ranges, let's see. System generated identifiers used for objects requiring sequential identification like purchase order, invoices, and so on. It simplifies automated process and ensures consistency. Then, numeric number ranges are used for high volume transactions, preferred for documents with high transaction volumes like financial postings or the material postings. Internal assignments, most often applied in the internal number ranges for system control automatic assignments. So that simply means when you are using number ranges, which is numeric, mostly it is meant for the internal number ranges in the SAP system. Mostly. It is not a mandatory again, it is mostly. Moving next, alphanumeric number ranges. So it is useful for objects like customers or vendor codes where specific naming patterns are required. For example, CUS001 for customs. For such kind of number requirements or specific naming convention if you need, then you use alphanumeric number ranges. External assignments. Frequently used in the external number ranges, allowing users to assign meaningful identifiers manually. Flexibility in identification. It is helpful to distinguish between categories, regions, types of data. For example, INT 100 for international vendors. It's like category you differentiate, and it helps you also by looking at the number itself you understand whether the vendor is domestic or international, just because you have given the specific number ranges patterns in case of alphanumeric number ranges. Now let's see the practical example for both scenarios. For numeric, that will be used in case of material numbers, batch numbers, purchase order numbers, and so on. Alphanumeric will be customer IDs, equipment codes, contact numbers, and there can be so on. It is again, as I said, purely driven by the business requirement. Moving next, this is again a very important heading which I call errors in number ranges. So what are the different kind of errors you can encounter with regard to the number ranges used in the SAP system? First is called as overlap errors. It occurs when two number ranges intersect each other, leading to duplication or conflicts. Even system will also give you the error messages when you do it. It then can be related to the incorrect configuration, making mistakes in defining intervals or assigning ranges to objects that can cause issue. So if you are not careful while defining the number ranges of various objects, that can also lead to these kind of confusions. Transport errors. Number ranges configured in the development system may not transport correctly to the production. So that can also happen sometimes. So every time whenever number ranges are going from one system to another, that need to be checked thoroughly and in detail. And in normal circumstances, in most of the cases, number ranges are not transported at all. It is maintained into different systems independently. Now, external number range issues. Users may assign numbers outside the defined range, causing validation errors. So sometimes if the users are not aware, then these kind of issues can also come up in the picture. Technical errors. Problems like incorrect status settings or intervals not being marked properly can prevent number range creation. So sometimes it can have some technical errors as well. So these are all the different kind of errors which can occur in case of number ranges used in the SAP system. Moving next, how to prevent these errors? What we should do to stop these errors occurring in the SAP system? So you have to define clear intervals. If you define clear intervals by giving the serious thought about what number ranges should be used for which object, for master data, for transaction data, for other objects, for third party system entries, and likewise IDOCs and so many things, then these issues will not come. Ensure that number ranges do not overlap and are properly assigned to objects or groups. Transport management. Always check that number ranges are correctly transported from development system to quality and production environments. You have to check it thoroughly. As I said, usually it is not transported. It is being created in the each system independently in most of the cases. Use validation checks. Implement validation checks to ensure external number ranges are assigned within the defined intervals. This is again, as I said, very important. Otherwise, your number ranges will go left and right. Maintain proper documentation. Clearly document the configuration of number ranges, including intervals, assignments, and intended use of those number ranges. So maintaining proper documentation with regard to the number ranges are also very important. Particularly at the time of implementation work, this must be done as part of the documentation strategy of the client. Moving next, monitor usage. Regularly monitor the status of number ranges to ensure that they are not nearing exhaustion or being misused. So this will happen only when you monitor it, otherwise the number ranges can also sometimes due to the high usage can come to an end and then it will again lead to some errors. Educate users. Provide proper training to the users who manually assign numbers to avoid human errors for external number ranges. Activate logging. Enable change logs for number ranges to track the modification and troubleshoot issues. Backup and test. Before making major changes, backup the system and test in a controlled environment rather doing directly in the production environment. Do not do a test in the production environment. By implementing these preventive measures, you can reduce the likelihood of encountering numbering errors. So if you follow all these steps, you can avoid most of the numbering errors. Moving next, SAP message for creating TR for NR. NR means numbering. TR means transport request. So when you are creating or when you are trying to add the number ranges in a TR, this is the message you will get in the SAP system. I will also show you the same in the SAP system as well. What happens when you try to add number ranges on a transport request? As I said, usually it is not done that way. Usually only the numbers in the sense only the nomenclature of the number ranges, which is of 2 digit, it can be alpha or alphanumeric as the case may be. That only goes along with the settings in the transport request. But the actual number ranges are always maintained in the system independently in most of the cases. This is how it happens. Let's move further. This is again very important. Technical details of the number ranges. What all T codes we have? We have literally bundle of T codes. We have SNRO, we can go via SPRO, we can use FBN1, XKN1, XDN1, and there are so many number ranges. As I said, there are so many business objects available in the SAP system. The important table for the number ranges is NRIV, NRIV, and number ranges are denoted by two character numeric, alphanumeric, or it can go alpha also. So all the three options you have. It can be denoted by only two characters. You can be 00, 0A, or AA. Whatever way you choose, you can do that. The field name of the number ranges is NRR ANGENR. I will show you these things in the system as well as part of the system demo. Moving next, here you can see the number ranges. I am going to show you now in the S4HANA 2023 version system, and will show you how the internal number range, how the external number range will be used, how it can be identified, which one is internal, which one is external, and likewise. And can we use or can we change from internal number range to the external number range once it has started using it. So let's see how it goes in the SAP system. So this is S4HANA 2023 version system. We will see first SNRO. Let us see the SNRO. Now we have to see which object it is referring to. There are so many things for various things. You can pick up anything you want. For example, take this or take account number. If you click on the display, see this is how it is related to. If you go to the customizing, and it has main birthing also. If you click over here, so it will bring you over here, bank area, right? So if we click on the display, it will look like this. Likewise, remember each number range will have its business object as well. Now I will show you another T code which is related to your financial document posting, which is called as FBN1. FBN1. Take example of company code this 10, and now click on the intervals. If you see, year wise it is being defined: 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. All the way it has defined till 2032. You can see. Then, and remember this, you can see this external and internal part, right? We have discussed in our previous slides that two type of number ranges are there. So if at the time of creating the number ranges this is being ticked, then that number range will be considered as the external number range. Otherwise it is internal number range. Internal number range means it is assigned by the system, and external number range is it is manually assigned by the business user while doing the transaction. So this part is clear to you. Now let us see the table level. Now NRIV table, I am picking it up. I am not giving any value, but if you see this has so many entries. So what I will do is I will remove this and execute it. Against is object, and if it is applicable for any particular year, it will be mentioned here, and this is the nomenclature used for the number ranges. This is what I am referring to, from and to, then range status, and whether it is external or internal as the case may be. As you can see, this one, this number range particularly. This one is an external number range as external is being ticked. So this table, you please remember, this table will give you all kind of number ranges available in the SAP system. Does not matter which category it is. This contains everything with regard to the number ranges. Now you will ask, what is the technical name of those things? So let me quickly explain you that part as well. See, this is the field which I was referring to. NRIB is your table, and this is related to the technical information for the number ranges, and it is identified by the two character code, alphanumeric or alphanumeric. Either of these things are fine. Now if you try to add any TR number onto a TR by selecting something like this and click on the transport. So this is the screenshot which I have added up in my presentation as well. Why this can become a problem. So in most of the cases, almost all the cases, number ranges are not transported from one system to the another system because it can lead to lot of consequences. Mostly it is defined in the system independently into each of those systems, and it is always considered as a manual activity rather than an activity moving via TR. Now coming back to my presentation. So we have seen the demo of the SAP system with regard to the number ranges. Moving next, coming to the conclusion part of it, number ranges are very important. It plays very important role. It must be handled very carefully. Please check thoroughly before making any changes in the number ranges, and you should be very careful while doing this. Otherwise this can be disastrous as well and can give you sometimes P1 ticket as well. So be careful while handling the number ranges. These are very important, and from the system perspective it is highly critical. Moving next, if you have any query, if you have any questions which you want to clarify, please drop an email to this mail ID. I will definitely respond you back. Now thank you so much for watching till the very end over here. I hope you must have liked this video. Please put up your comments. Please put up your questions, queries, anything you have in the comment section. Share this video in your network and let everybody aware what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. This will help you also and your fellow people as well. So let us spread the knowledge. Thank you so much once again watching all the way till here. Wish you all a great day ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.